I've always believed that the best learning, the purest form of learning, takes place when you learn something not because you have to, not because there's a grade on the line, but just because you want to. But most of the time in school, we can't really operate that way. We use grades to measure students' progress, to hold you accountable, to give your parents an indication of how you're doing, and, well, a lot of other reasons. As we're all sheltered at home in the midst of a global pandemic, most of those things have become less important. Ever since the school district made that initial decision to have students stay home, we've been trying to walk a difficult line between continuing to offer what we believe is a valuable education and minimizing the stress that is being placed on you and your families right now. In many ways, we're still figuring out the right way to do that, if there is a right way. This week, Mr. Michael has called on teachers to lighten the load a bit and to de-emphasize grades, which I think is the right direction to go. As of my sending you this message, he's still largely leaving up to teachers to decide how to best manage their instruction. So you might see some variation in responses from your teachers, but I'm doing my best right now to let you know how I intend to proceed. First of all, I want to thank those of you who have been keeping up with reading The Great Gatsby and sharing your notes with me. That was the first work I sent home for you to do because I think The Great Gatsby is a novel everyone ought to read. And your notes give me excellent feedback on what you're taking away from the book. For my part, I've been leaving comments on most of your notes and keeping a record of who is completing them, but I haven't been entering anything in the grade book. And if I can be completely transparent with you on this, I don't think I ever will grade them as I would in a normal quarter. Like I said, for me, it's the work that's always the important thing, not the grade. Now, I realize some of you may not share that view, and if you feel like your effort was wasted, then I am genuinely sorry. But I don't believe any effort is ever wasted if you learn something from it. If you've been keeping up with the reading, you have 2 chapters left. I hope you finish them to see the work you started through to the end. I'm sad that we're missing out on discussing the novel together. There are so many interesting things to talk about, and a lot of you have been raising questions in your notes that we would normally cover in class discussions. If you have some questions about The Great Gatsby that you'd like to hear me address, please send them to me. If I have enough, I'll record a video in which I just answer those questions that you have. I also plan to record one video with all the big things I've come to take away from this novel in my years of teaching it. And that's how I mean to end this Gatsby unit. But what about after that? Well, one of the other things we normally do in 4th quarter is study modernism. I'm sad we won't be together for that. Now, modernism was a period in American art and literature after realism. This was when writers and artists created bold and exciting works in experimental new styles. The whole idea of modernism was to make something new that the world hadn't seen before. It's in this unit that we read some of the most interesting and, in one case, most disturbing works of the entire year. Honestly, 4th quarter is the most fun quarter for English 3, and students genuinely enjoy the things that we read. Honest. I really don't want you to miss out on that. So, here's what I'm going to do. 2 or 3 days a week, I'll post assignments for readings from your textbooks. For those of you who don't have your textbooks, I'll post links to where you can read the stories online. I will also record videos of me reading them aloud and discussing the stories. And you can choose for yourself what you want to do. You can read the stories on your own, you can listen to me read them, whatever. I will not assign homework to turn in. This will just be an invitation to learn for learning's sake. 8 months ago, we started together on a journey through the history of American literature. And I mean to finish that journey. I hope that you'll join me.